Hello and welcome back, I'm Almost Adam, and today we are taking a little look at ANGERFORCE Reloaded. This is the Switch version of the game. I think it's out on everything else, don't quote me on that. It's definitely out on PS4 and on PC. Don't know about Xbox. I assume it is, because it's on everything. It's another little vertical scrolling shooter indie game, you know I like these, I've done a few of these by now, and I've been playing a lot of this one lately, so I thought I'd share my thoughts. I'm going to start with the campaign mode today, so the meat and potatoes of this whole game. There's a little bit more going on there than you might expect from the usual vertical shooter. Then we'll have a little look at arcade. Practice probably won't bother with local co-op, it's nice that it's there, but I have no friends. Collection is just stuff you unlock through playing the campaign mode and things, so like little cutscenes and stuff, we'll get back to them. Options are bare bones, so I'm not even going to look at that. Going in, so we've got noob, normal and veteran. You unlock these as you play along. I'm going to start off on noob, not because I'm being a noob, but because I want to run through a couple of the characters real quick, and I also want to show you the skill tree sort of thing, the progression system that's in the game, which you get at the end of a run, and the run on noob mode is way shorter. I will do normal and veteran, I'll give you a little glimpse of those, but we're starting with noob. Don't judge me. So here is the character list. Aesthetically wise, they're fairly generic. We have a young Strider Hiryu here, a tiny Iron Giant, an Okami character, and mandatory boobs. I suppose we should just be grateful he bothered to draw the rest of her. We're going to start off with Billy Basic here, and here we are, we're off. There's a couple of interesting things you notice straight off the bat, and that is the L2 and R2 buttons change your speed. So this is my normal speed, this is base. Then if I press R2, I fly around all over the place, so it really ups your speed. So for those big movements and getting to the other side of the screens, that's there. And then if you tap it to L2, you go into little wiggle mode, which is great for just slightly avoiding bullets like noop, 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 noop. Yeah, and you'll notice your hitbox is quite small as well. So it is a bit Japanesey bullet hell-esque. So, you know, your hitbox is like a pixel in the center of your character sprite, which is fine. That's what you expect with a lot of these kind of games. It isn't super punishing for a bullet hell style game. Like, it's accessible. It can get hard, but it doesn't just smack you in the face like straight away. It doesn't just cock slap. It eases you in a little bit. These references are getting creepy, but you know what I mean. Right, so from there we've also got this, where if you hold down the A button, you charge up those little. See on the left bottom there, you get little thunderbolts, little electric bolts, and they power your special moves, so you can do like some fireballs for his face, and now he's dead. When you kill them, they do drop little power-ups that can charge up your thunderbolts as well. You can pick up health or bombs at the end there. I didn't really get a chance to show you. There's two little droids that come down, and one's got a picture of a bomb on it, one's got a picture of health. Depending on what you need, you blow up the appropriate one. I've also got a little slash. What? That does a ton of damage, but it's very close range. But it does delete bullets, so if you're backed into a corner and pretty fucked, you get a whoop. The downside to that, the thing that annoys me about that just a little bit, is there is like a half-second delay between pressing it and it actually, you know, working, so you can't use it to get yourself out of like absolute last minute. You have to have a little bit of forethought. I don't like that. I like snappy, responsive things, especially in games like this. The bosses are cool. They are huge to begin with, usually, and they have like tons of health, but they're slow. And then you blow them up a little bit, and they get smaller and faster and fire more bullets, but they also take way more damage to offset that, so you can wear them down quicker. And that is your fairly standard scoring system that you get at the end. You know, you've got how many enemies you shot down, your combo bonuses, how many bombs and health you were left with, and then it gives you a rating from like, I guess D, I've never seen lower than that, to triple S. Now, as you play, you accumulate credits, and you can spend those credits in-game. So you can spend them at the end of every round. You can buy, like, HP, energy, blah. You can only buy these once, but, you know, you can spend credits on buying those once at the end of every stage. So you can spend credits on buying those, and, varying useful things. The idea is to try and not buy any of those, because the more credits you've got at the end, that's where you upgrade your characters. That's where the progression thing comes in, and we'll get to that when we get to the end. Usually when you start the story as well, it does ask you if you want a tutorial. There is a tutorial, which strangely has no music, which makes it all a bit creepy and a bit eerie. Whilst I've mentioned the music, I might as well say, music's good. It's really good, actually. It's one of the standout features in this game. Like, it's rocky, it's upbeat, it fits the tone, sort of the campy, Japanese-inspired, anime-esque. It just works. It all just works really well. So, yeah. 10 out of 10 for music. If I shut up for a second, you can hear it just rocking away in the background. It's alright, isn't it? So here we get a mid-boss. So you get mid-bosses sometimes halfway through. Well, you know the score by now. You get mini-bosses. Although I think this is actually the main boss. He has a early cameo. Oh, fuck it. You do get a bit of slowdown sometimes when things explode and you're collecting stuff. I don't know why that is. because on a game this basic, you'd think slowdown wouldn't be a thing. It's worth noting the loading times are oddly long for a game that is essentially like a glorified Flash game. Like, that's what it looks like. I don't know why. It does seem to struggle. They're not, like, terrible. They're not, but I mean, you can see now, that was a whole loading screen. It's not painstakingly long, it just seems a little long for the kind of game I'm playing. The stages, you will notice this stage, very detailed. The one before it was blue. They vary wildly in terms of quality. I don't know why that is, but the good ones make the bad ones stand out all the more, but I'm just glad that the good ones are there, because the good ones are really good, and the other ones are just sort of there, which is fine. If they were all that's in the game, I'd complain about the stages more, but the fact we've got these really good ones sort of, you know, negates that somewhat. Fireballs to your face. The enemy variety is good. The attack patterns are good, varied, well-paced. It's all very well done. Like, the people that made this clearly knew what they were doing. Like, my voice clearly knew what they were doing. I don't know enough about the studio. I didn't really research them before playing this, so I don't know if they've got like a heritage in this. I assume they're a foreign studio. Now, I say that because there's a lot of broken English. There's a lot of all your bases all belong to us moments, like especially in there's cutscenes at the end of the game, and in the story mode that only show when you do it the first time. After that, they're archived. But they, oh, sorry, I got overwhelmed by what was going on screen. Things are happening, billboards are exploding. But they have voice acting, and they are subtitled for things they didn't say. Also, the descriptions of some things are a little bit off. I'll show you that in a minute as well when we get to the end of this specific run. Die, please. There we go. See what I mean? I pressed that slash a while ago, and it took a while for it to pop out. So you won't see what I mean because you don't know when I pressed the slash. I'm just telling you that's what I did, and you have to trust me on it. But trust me, there is a delay. Now, this boss is one of my favourites, especially in the harder modes, because in the harder modes, one really interesting thing about the bosses is they have multiple stages. They have more stages in the late game. It's great. His first attack pattern is you just don't move, just don't panic, and you'll be fine. Yeah, they have more stages to them, and when they have more stages, it's not just there's another round of the same shit. No. Or like the attack patterns change, the whole boss changes. Like you get a whole other version. You essentially create a whole different version of the guy you were fighting. Again, smaller, faster, usually takes a bit more damage to compensate for that. But the first time you witness it in like the harder game modes, when you've already beat them twice and then they turn into a third dude and it's one of the earlier bosses, you've already played loads and you thought you knew, for them to give the balls a tug and go, this isn't even my final form. It is quite fun. It is, I did like that. I like that that's a thing. That's a good thing they did there. Approved. Slashy slash. I just realised I haven't actually shown you the bombs yet. Every character's got a different one, so I'll show you this when I've knocked this form out of him, because I believe he has another. See, again with the slowdown. Why? There we go. Do you see what I mean? They put a lot of work into the transitions between the different forms and things. I fucking love it. It's one of the standout features of this game. I think I've said that before, but I'll say it again. Right, bombs I was going to show you. Kaboom! So that does damage. That also gets rid of all the bullets on the screen and turns them all into points. So if you can make sure there's lots of bullets on the screen when you do it, you'll get more pickups, more score as a result. Have some fireballs. That should finish him. Oh, fuck. Misjudged that horribly and I got hit. But that's game. And that was, as you can tell, fairly fucking easy. I will go on one of the harder stages in a minute, so you can see the differences between them. But that was just an example, and it gets me to my next point. Ta-da! So this is the upgrade screen. You have your upgrades, which is general, so this carries across all characters, this screen right here, all of these. You get points, as you can see, bottom right. That's what we collected from while playing. So these big glowy orbs you saw come out of things and fly into me sometimes when I blew the bigger bosses up, or the bigger mid-bosses, or, you know, those dudes. Yeah, they all add up. That's your spending money. That's what you can spend in-game to give yourself an advantage so, you know, you can survive and get through it. Or you can save them and you spend them at the end to get permanent upgrades. You've got your, you know, your basic stuff here. I think I've almost got one of each. Oh, yeah, apart from these two. This is one you can upgrade multiple times, and each time it costs more to do so, like this one. So you can get extra bomb capacity, your power-ups recharge quicker. I've already got full extra HP, because that should always be the first thing you get in any of these video games is more health. Health FTW. So as much as I like this progression system, there was something that disappointed me about it, but I can't complain about it too much because it was a misunderstanding on my part. I thought, say like there's 31 points you need to buy that. I've got 38, I could buy that. I thought you only got the points at the end of the round and you had to spend them then or they were gone. So, like, I couldn't afford that. And I thought the reason I couldn't afford that was because I'd have to play it on the harder difficulties to earn that many points. So there'd be like a skill-based progression system, almost. So you get the easier ones first, and that makes it easier to get the harder ones by doing the harder difficulties. That isn't the case. You can literally just put it all into something like, say, this. And that waits for you next time. So you don't waste them. You can't store them in like a bank. You can't keep them and then spend them on whatever you want next time. You have to put them into something, but once they're into it... So I could keep grinding out the basic mode, is what I'm saying, the newbie mode, and I would eventually get enough points to unlock everything in here, which I don't like as much, because that just makes the rest of the game easier than it's... I mean, how do you balance for that? I don't think you can. Like, you could either make the game too easy, or the game has to be made so hard to compensate for people doing that it would put people off, which I guess is why it's kind of easy, like I mentioned earlier. I've answered my own question. Moving on. We also have character-specific upgrades. So this just upgrades their abilities, gives their abilities new abilities, actually, like things that they can do. Like, for example, Sam Hill has one where he can now neutralise bullets. You saw me doing that earlier. That is really fucking handy. So when he does his big sword swing, it just knocks anything out of the way, which has saved me on... I don't know how many times. And the others have other things that are also quite cool. Shin's got one where he can do something similar, but it collects the bullets and then fires them back in magic bullets. So you can upgrade how many magic bullets he shoots out. Stuff like that. All good stuff. All good stuff. There's also an arcade mode. I'll show you quickly. Arcade mode works a little bit differently. We're going to play as Shin this time. He's probably my favourite character. He's the most technically, he's the most interesting character. He's not necessarily the best, but he's more fun, I think. Arcade mode is sort of the classic version of this game where, you know, it's all a bit harder, it's a bit faster, it's a bit more like you would expect from an arcade game. You have none of the progression from your campaign mode, so all of that, you know, unlock system of skills and that nonsense, that's all gone. You just get good. There are still upgrades and ways of improving your character, but you do it in game now, and it's you know, at the end of the round they're gone. Oh, at the end of your session, sorry, they're gone. Which is, yeah, it's how arcade games should be played. If you're a hardcore fan, this is how you're going to want to play this game. I like this as an extra, but I have actually found myself playing the campaign mode way more. I just like a good campaign mode, you know. But this is a nice, you know, if you've got a few minutes in the afternoon, you don't really want to get into anything, I'll just jump on the arcade mode, see if I can get a decent score. That's what I play. The stages are in a different order, again. They sort of do what they want. All the bosses are on the, you know, they're full bosses now. So this time they... you get all the forms and all the attack patterns at full speed, and that's okay. So I've got to focus quite a lot here, but again, like I said, your hitboxes is tiny, and you do have that slow button that slows you right down, which I like a lot. I never thought I'd use it to begin with, but when things get a bit tense, when I get a bit on edge, I tend to overpress the stick. That doesn't happen when... Oh, shall I show you Shin's ultimate as well? Here's a bomb. Now, his doesn't seem to do a great deal of damage, but it does last longer. And the longer it lasts, the less time they can shoot at you for. Because they don't spawn bullets at all whilst... excuse me, do you mind? I'm trying to talk here. They don't spawn bullets at all while that effect is happening. So if there's a big attack wave coming up and you know they've got a few to deal out, you can just drop that and it'll nullify all of them. And allows you to just have free reign of shooting at them, using your abilities and all, which is good. Did I get a no-hit there? Nice. So here's what I mentioned briefly earlier. Instead of just getting like, you can recover 1 HP or you can have an extra bomb, you now get this, which is a lot of the stuff that you unlocked in the campaign mode through the progression system is just in here now, and you do it on the fly. Again, really good implementation of it. Fucking hats off. Thumbs up. Very good job. Clap, clap, clap. Something that is a pet hate of mine. It doesn't happen as much in this game as it does in others, but it does happen sometimes, and the fact that it's still happening in this day and age pisses me off. And that is just the age. If you've seen my videos, you'll know I've bitched about this before, and that's when they have the same coloured bullets as the background. Or same coloured enemies and same coloured bullets as the background. So it's almost happening now, which is what made me think of it. So yeah, that's worth... Whoa, fuck, I'll eat them. That's worth remembering. It's not egregious, but it is still there. So it does still happen, which it just annoys me. Like, there are so many colours and shades of colours in the world. There is no excuse for it. Like, just use a completely different colour palette for your bullets as to what you're going to be using on your backgrounds. Or change them up. If it's a different stage, change them up so you're not using the exact same ones. I don't see anyone really focus on fixing that problem. Like I don't know if no one else cares or no one else has an issue with it, but I do, and it bothers me. If anyone else gets annoyed by that, let me know, because I want to know if I'm the only one, because I'm the only one I've ever heard complain about it. Well, shit, I was too busy complaining, and I wasn't concentrating on what I was doing, and I died, although I could just be super salty and blame the fact that the bullets were very close to the colour of the background, and that completely highlighted the point I was trying to make about how much of a game design fail that really is. I'm clutching here. I'm clutching. Right, we're going to have a quick go at normal mode, and I'm also very quickly going to talk about the characters a little bit more, like I said I was going to. Sam Hill, basic guy, he's got the slash that's really powerful, but you have to get in there, so there's sort of a risk-reward. His bullet spread's a little outy, but not so much, so it's fairly well focused, and his fireballs go through everything, so they can hit a lot on the screen, but they're not super powerful compared to some of the other people's abilities, so he's kind of jack of all trades, master of none. He is designed to be an all-rounder character, so job well done. Also her. And then there's Shin, who I said is one of the more interesting characters. He's one of the more technical characters, and as such is my favourite to play, generally, even though he's not the easiest. He does have some things that you can combo together really nicely. For example, his Ancient Guardian ability, you can make it so it freezes bullets, which means bullets tend to collect in one place, and then the Leaf Shield you can use to hit and knock all the bullets out of the air. But with an upgraded Leaf Shield, for every couple of bullets you hit, he fires out a magic bullet of his own that's homing and locks in and hits the enemy. So on the bosses, when the screen's covered in bullets, to be able to freeze a bunch, have them add a bunch more to it, and then swipe, it is very risk-reward, but you can fucking melt people in it. It's very satisfying when you manage to pull it off. Then there's the elephant in the room, or the big metal elephant in the room, and that's Asimo, who I'm going to play as now. He is... I assume he was meant for like newer players. He's got a lot of health. He's basically a tank. But he's also good at everything else, and he fucking wrecks bosses. Like, he absolutely melts them. I think overall, he's the most unbalanced character out of all of them. He's very, very powerful, and I'll show you why. So his attack pattern's got a nice spread to it, which means you're not doing as much focus damage, but you tend not to miss the little enemies. So he's very good at hitting all these little off-screen fuckers, or the ones that are about to whiz by you. So, you know, you get extra score for getting a lot of kills, or getting a good percentage of kills. Well, he's good for that. Then there's the other thing where he's got this laser beam, which is great because you can sort of drop it and fuck off. So when you're fighting bosses and things, and you need to concentrate on dodging all the bullets, you can just aim that at them, let it loose, and then get the fuck out of dodge. Like I'll show you now. So I can just drop this here, and I can be over here out of the way. No one actually fired at me as I did that, so point not very well made. But you do understand what I'm getting at. His ultimate is directional, which means it doesn't wipe out everything on screen because it is a massive laser beam. But if they're in it, it does a fuck ton of damage. And look at that. Yeah, it just decimates bosses. There is no... Gone. Fucking... On to the next one. And he's been melted. It's fucking insane. That was it. That was this mid-boss just gone. He literally deletes them. And that was without using my ultimate, my bomb, at all. And he can, like I said, he regenerates bombs as he gets hit. So not only is he a machine for getting like a higher score than anything else, he can also just do insane amounts of damage. And he's the tank. He can just take a fuck ton of hits as well. Like nothing slows this guy down. He's very unbalanced. I know. Again, I'm complaining a lot, but just yeah, bear in mind, Asimo for some reason is an absolute beast compared to the other characters. I also really like the Borderlands style intro scenes to the bosses you get. There we go. I just find that really cool. Gives it a bit more character. This is by far my favourite stage so far in terms of just like design and art design. Also, there's like a mid boss, which is a train. I love trains. I love trains. I mean, it trains in vertical shooters. Like one of my favourite levels and favourite fights in Robo Lest was the train on the snow level. It was fucking amazing. And this is similar to that. We have to fight them in stages, and each carriage has got a different thing on. I'm a fan of that. It's like a game within a game, gameception. Also, like the amount of design that's gone into this background and the watercolor style art it's really nice. And it also, yeah, again, really highlights how bland some of the like other stages were. Eat my balls! See, they just decimate, especially on this stage where the train's basically in a big straight line and everything's on it. You can just use it to melt its way through. Off you go. I wasn't paying attention. See, there we go. That wasn't my fault. That was the colours blending into the background again. I'm not making excuses, you're making excuses. This is my favourite boss because that big train we fought earlier sticks together with it to make like a Zord? A train Zord? I don't know, but it's fucking cool, whatever it is. and you have to take it down. It's got little bits you can chip off it. Again, that's another one of my favourite things in these type of games, are bosses where you can chip bits off them and then other guns pop out, and there's just a lot going on. It's more interesting, there's more to remember, there's more attack patterns to... It's vastly superior. Go on, have another one. Yeah. I've gone quiet now because I'm actually trying to win. It's hard not to get into these kind of games because they absorb you, and when you do well, you feel like an absolute fucking god. I can't actually look at the health box. I'm too busy looking at not getting shot. I assume I'm hitting him pretty hard. Do I use more abilities or do I save them? I save them. He's down. That's one stage. That's one stage of him down. He's definitely got one more. He may have two more. Yep, he's got two more. Yikes. That was close. Let's bounce some balls off his face. Let's bounce some more balls off his face. And have a laser beam. Fuck it. I said I was going to use more of my... Oh, he's aiming at me now. You will notice that about this game quite a bit. They don't always aim at you very much. Like, the bullets tend to go just where they go. They're not directed at you intentionally. Those are fucking spiteful. But... you know, there's a lot of it is positioning. You don't really have to be like dodgy, dodgy, dodge, dodge, which is why, again, that slow-mo button really helps. And now you're going to get hit with a massive laser beam to the face! So I can move and it follows me. I just can't move very quick whilst it's doing it. And like I said, that's basically a delete button. Have a little laser beam to your face just to finish you off. Is that all? Is that all you got? That's all he's got. Fucking love that fight. That is one of the best ones in any of these kind of games I've ever played ever. I could do that over and over and over again. I just enjoy it. I don't know why I like it so much more. I just do. It's trains and stages and guns and bullets. And I'm going to stop there. I don't want to do too much. I just wanted to give you like an overall feel of the game, let you be able to figure out if this is something that's for you, and give you my general opinions on it. And I don't want to spoil any more. Like, you've seen like 4 stages out of, I think there's 7 altogether. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll stop there. You can also rotate your screen 90 degrees and play in portrait mode, or tape mode, as it's called. On your telly, that's not great, unless you want to stand your telly on its side. I've tried laying down and playing it, like sideways on, and that doesn't actually make it any easier. Your brain sort of knows you're not the right way around, and it's confusing. But if you play it on the handheld, like I do, playing it in the normal screen ratio, it's very difficult because you have all this shit at the sides and it squashes everything in the middle, and it's very small. It's not the best way to play. You lose a lot of potential real estate by doing that. But there is something I actually backed on Kickstarter called a flip grip, or a grip flip. That doesn't sound right. Flip grip sounds better. Which should be on screen now. They're not very expensive, and it means you can put your Switch console in it sideways, so you can play vertical shooters vertically. Which is the best way to play. It's the only way to play it if you're playing it handheld mode. There's this and a bunch of other games that support it, and I play them all the time now. It looks a little bit odd. It looks a bit like a robot dick, but it works so well. And if you want to play these kind of games on the go, it's almost an essential buy. So if you've not picked one of those up and you are into these and you are playing it on Switch, then yeah, get that. It's good. So that's been ANGERFORCE Reloaded. It's currently £8.09 on the Nintendo store. Oddly, that's an odd price, but that's what it is. Would I recommend it? Yep. I might have sounded like I was complaining about it a fair bit during the video, but like I said, that is just, you know, the pros far outweigh the cons. All the gripes were minor, and everything it does well, it does so well, it completely overshadows anything bad about it that I was pointing out. Like this is a solid game, especially at that current asking price. It's absolutely worth every penny. You will get your money's worth. Swish. There we go, those magic bullets I was talking about. God, I love Shin. More magic bullets to your face, that's just going to melt him. Good day. This character is so fun. Yeah, the characters are varied and interesting enough. Like, they're all different enough, mostly, that it's got a lot of longevity to it. You don't get bored so quick. It's not just do the same thing over and over, which these games can be a lot, because you can just be a different character and they play completely differently, so you have a very different experience each time. There's a lot done right here. There's a lot done right, and I commend them for it. And if you haven't already bought this, I suggest that you do. Are your opinions the same as mine? Did you think anything different? You probably did. If so, I'd like to talk about it. Comments below. As usual, like and subscribe. And thank you for watching, most importantly, and I'll see you next time.